day, one and all. Thank you for joining us again for another video. It is a beautiful, crisp morning. Is it winter? Is it autumn? Anyway, whatever. It's a very nice morning. And you join me here in the rather comfortable passenger compartment of this 2004 Jaguar XJ. Now, this is a car that we have in stock for sale. The reason I'm driving it is I regretfully sold my E46 BMW, which I was using as a daily driver. What a great car that was. So I've just recently sold that. I'll put some pictures up and then you can have a look. But yeah, that had done 175,000 miles, 2003 I think it was. And what a great car, 330D M Sport. And it ran like brand new. Massive service history with it, and it was returning 60 miles to the gallon on a run. What a great car. So if I could give you some advice, if you're looking to buy a what would you call it, a modern classic, an E46 BMW is definitely one you should consider, because they're a great car. I've had a few, and they are a great car. And I think if you buy a good one now, you know, no reason why, you know, it shouldn't cost you anything. It certainly won't cost you anything in terms of depreciation. I think they're only going to go up value wise. But yeah, that one's gone, and hence we're behind the wheel of this Jaguar. I have to use something to get to work and back, and this was kind of closest to the door, so it made sense to use this. So I thought I'd take the opportunity today to, you know, do a little bit of a road test. People who might be interested in the cars can get an idea of what they're like, you know, to live with. So that's what we're going to do today. This car is as I said, 2004 Jaguar XJ8. This is the 3.5 litre V8 petrol engine. They also did a 4.2 petrol V8, a 4.2 supercharged V8 in the XJR, one of which we actually have in stock at the moment. So it will be interesting actually if we perhaps get to do a road test on that this week. You know, we can sort of look at the two side by side. They also did a 2.7 diesel, and it's the X350, so it's the aluminium bodied cars. So it's this is one of the early aluminium bodied cars. Yeah, lovely place to be. Leather interior, you know, walnut dash and door cappings, nice spec, heated seats, heated screen, you know, aircon, climate control, CD changer. I think we've got a multi-changer in the boot, sat nav. So they're quite sort of well spec'd. Electric windows, are obviously electric mirrors, you know, everything you'd expect really on a luxury car, and everything you'd need really. I don't think there's anything that's missing. Memory seats, electric adjust seats. So yeah, everything's there. We've got the cream leather. This one's silver. I'll put some pictures up and then you can see it. But as I say, we're going to take it out on the road and give you an idea of what it's like. Okay, so let's get moving. So the first thing you notice is the ride. Air suspension setup on these, which is one of the sort of things you need to look at when you're buying one of these. They do have a tendency to throw up air suspension faults. This one, touch wood, seems to be free of any such faults at the moment. You know, there's nothing on the dashboard, no warning lights, so all the air suspension seems to be working correctly on this one, and it does give a lovely ride. Typical Jaguar XJ. If you've driven a Jaguar XJ of any vintage really, they just have a particular way of floating really. They float across the bumps. You feel like you're suspended, you know, a couple of inches off the ground really. They really soak up all the undulations in the road. And this one's no different. I would say that they're probably not quite as floaty as the earlier steel-bodied XJs, you know, the 308s, you know, a good one of those, they are really lovely they have a really lovely ride. And I think that these later cars with the air suspension are just that little bit more stiff in the way that they're sprung, but it's not of a detriment. You know, they are a lovely ride. Now, as I say, this is the V8 petrol. Very, very smooth. You know, I mean, when we're sat at the traffic lights here and the car's on tick over, you know, you can't hear the engine. You can just hear I've got the air conditioning blower on low, and you can only just about hear that. Very smooth power delivery. I mean, I'm barely pressing the throttle there. Gear change, again, you can hardly feel it change really, and considering the car's, just looking at it now, 103,000 miles. Now I think the gearbox in this car, thinking back to the service history, I think it has been serviced. I think it has a gearbox. It has had a gearbox service, and you will find a lot of these cars do benefit from a gearbox service. That, you know, they say it's a sealed for life gearbox. I mean, I think anything that's getting hot and has you know, mechanical components spinning round in oil at speed over 20 years, you know, they need a gearbox oil change. So again, if you're looking to buy one, the gear change should be pretty seamless really, and if you are getting any sort of notchiness between changes, you know, perhaps factor in a gearbox service into the price you're paying for the car. But as I say, this one seems very good. So I mean, we're just around town at the moment. They're so tractable, so easy to drive. I mean, my preference in a daily driving car is a big engine and an automatic gearbox. I just think it takes all the sort of hard work out of driving, you know. And this is no different really. I mean, they're so easy. So easy to drive. Visibility's great. A lot of glass area, especially when you compare it to a more modern car. You know, there's no issues with, you know, the A-pillars obstructing our view particularly. You know, the same with the rearward vision. It's great. So yeah, as I say, we're just sort of around town at the moment. Now, I've been using this car for probably about a month now. I reset the trip computer a couple of weeks back. I went down to the classic car show at the NEC a couple of weeks ago, and I reset the trip computer there just to try and give myself an idea of what it was doing in real world, real world fuel consumption. So it's showing now 27.3 miles per gallon. Now that's, I would suggest, a realistic average. That's included, probably 300 miles of motorway use, and then 300 miles of backward and forward to work, A roads, B roads, around town. So I think that's a realistic real world average fuel consumption. Now on a motorway run, you will get over 30 to the gallon excuse me, out of these, which for a big petrol V8 and a big car, I think that's really good. I do. I think that's good. Obviously you don't buy one of these, for the fuel economy, but as I say, I think, when you consider the type of car it is, I think that's a good return. Again, everything about these XJs I find is just easy. They're so easy to drive. Just coming up to brake there, there's just the right amount of travel in the pedal before the brakes start to bite, and just everything about it just returns a smooth driving experience. It's so relaxing. You can do 300 or 400 miles in it, and when you get to where you need to be, you're not exhausted, you're not sick of it, like you are in a more, shall we say, mundane motor. So again, you perhaps can't pick it up on the camera, but the power delivery is so smooth, and as I say, that seamless gear change. Just pop the cruise control on. That's the thing I like about these. The cruise control is always engaged, if you like. You don't have to physically turn the cruise control on and off. So it is just a button on the steering wheel. To set, I find a lot of cruise controls on cars complicated. You're having to switch it on and then set it, and then you can't find how to resume it or cancel it. This is certainly, in my mind, one of the more user-friendly cruise controls. As I say, it's always engaged, so you just set it where you want it to be. Obviously it cancels with the brake or the accelerator, and then it'll resume itself, or simply, there's a cancel button on there, and a resume. It's really straightforward, and again, really user-friendly compared to some that I find them a little bit, you're looking for it, where is it, and this is dead straightforward. So it's another plus. So what we'll do, just coming up to the motorway junction now, so we'll head up that way and just get it up to motorway speeds, and then again it gives you an idea of how it is at speed. But there's no rattles, no clumps, bumps, and when you consider it's 20 years old, it's really good. None of the interior or the trim is rattling, and as I say, there's no clunks from the suspension. And it picks up nicely. I mean, that's only 25% throttle, and it picks up nicely. You really don't have to work these cars hard to get up to the speed limit. There's plenty of power, and as I say, the power delivery is so smooth. again, we're up to the speed limit, just set the cruise. It's easy, you know, so effortless. I mean, I suppose if you're looking for a car that's an involved drive, you know, this isn't it, you know, not at all. But as I say, if you want something to transport you in comfort with little effort, you know, I think a good XJ is hard to beat. I really do. I really do. V8 just sounds lovely as well, you know. You just hear it in the background there. It sounds great. And I think the thing with the Jaguars, I mean, I'm a fan of Jaguars. I mean, I'm biased. I love them. I think that, you know, they have a personality all of their own. And as great as BMW are, and Mercedes, you know, excuse me, you know, the S-Class, the 7 Series, great cars, but they just, this is my own personal opinion, I just think they're a little bit sterile when you compare them to the Jag. I mean, the Jags do have personality, and I think, I do think once you've had one and you've lived with one, a good one, they do get under your skin, and I think you know, you'll always struggle to replace a good Jaguar, you know. I think whatever you have after that, whenever I get back into one, regardless of what I've been driving, it always feels right, you know. They feel comfortable, and I don't know what it is about them. I guess, as I say, it's just the personality they have. It's a bit like an old armchair or whatever, you know, an old pair of slippers. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but they are they're you know, there's certainly something about them that I think the German equivalents perhaps don't have. So we're just going onto the motorway now. So 20 mile an hour there, and then I'm just literally 25% throttle, I would suggest, just slowly building up, and we're at motorway speed there, and that's with no effort. Great. I mean, what more do you want, you know? So that's 70 mile an hour, cruise engaged there. I love them, they're great. I really think they're great. So we're just going to be cruising for another couple of miles now, so I'll stop talking and catch up with you guys in a short while. pulling the pedal before it starts to bite, and you know, lovely and smooth, stops nice and straight, it's not pulling. Just have to wait behind this this tractor. And again, another thing I enjoy about, you know, a big engine is that power's there when you need it. You know, it, you know, it can get you. Just put the power down there. You know, we're up to 50 mile an hour there in no time. In no time. So it gets you out of danger as well. You know. It's useful. We need the power. The only problem comes when you do start to use the power. It becomes a little bit addictive, and that's when you do start seeing your fuel consumption alter, and not for the better. I'm just stuck behind a couple of cyclists. So as I said, as I've just said, you know, the power's there, isn't it? You know, it gets you past the hazard quickly, and you're out of the way and up the road, and you're on your way. Yeah, lovely. But as I say, that fuel consumption is dropping. So we're coming up to our destination. And as I say, it's been half an hour, and it's great. You know, it's just not an effort at all, and that's what I love so much about these cars. You know, if you want a relaxing cruising car, I honestly don't think you can beat a Jaguar XJ. They're just great. For that sort of thing, and that's what I love about them. You know, there's not a lot of pleasure in driving a lot of the time these days. You know, the roads are so busy, and the speed limits everywhere, and speed bumps, and these just take all the, you know, that they just iron all that out for you. You know, it just makes it that little bit more pleasurable, that that little bit just takes the edge off all those little annoyances that we have now when we're driving. It's see, they're good for your health. They're good for your mental health. Buy a Jaguar XJ. They're good for your mental health. That's one thing we've decided this morning. So here we are. Our fuel consumption figure has dropped a little bit. We're down to 27.2. But again, that's not bad, is it? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. What we'll do this week, as I said earlier in the video, we have a 4.2 sorry, yeah, they are a 4.2, aren't they? Of course they are. We have an XJR in stock at the moment, one of the supercharged cars, and we'll take that out for a run, and we'll compare the two. I mean, I personally think, you know, this is, you know, let's not sort of draw our conclusion now, but I honestly think in real world driving terms, you know, there's very little between any of them, really. You never use the full power. You never really use the full potential daily driving. And I'd recommend any of them. You know, any of them's a good buy, as long as you get a good one. But as I say, we'll try the XJR this week, and you know, we'll give you an idea of what that's like. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be the end of the video for today. So as I say, if you liked it, you know, press the like button, subscribe for more, you know, content, and it helps us grow the channel, which is what we're trying to do at the moment. So I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Hopefully tomorrow we've got an XKRS arriving with us for a headliner repair, so we'll get that on video for you, because they're a nice car. So we'll get that on video for you tomorrow. As I say, perhaps the XJR later on in the week. But for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.